Welcome, welcome. I'm Dee, and this is a single mom and guided life where I try to navigate through finances, motherhood, being single, and everything in between. And I bring you guys along for the journey to hold me accountable. This is my emergency fund and debt update. I often do this once a month to evaluate my emergency fund and the items that I have included in the emergency fund, and if I need to go up on them or even go down on them based on usage or changes within my household. This is a worksheet I created for my household and what I feel are the necessary items to cover my expenses in the event that I may lose my income. Nothing has to change for this update at this current time, but I know based on my 2021 outlook that I will be changing some items because they have to reflect what I'm actually paying out to these particular categories. And if you see me jittery, I have been making treats for my son and I have been tasting them, and now I'm on it. Have a sugar high. So let's go ahead and talk about the emergency fund progress. This is how I am prepping myself to reach my goal. Often when I have large goals, like trying to fund 6 months of my expenses, the best way for me to accomplish this is to break it down in smaller chunks. So I broke it down in 1 month, 3 months, and then 6 months. Underneath progress, I always put what I have saved in this particular fund. And I currently have $3,704.56. This has gone up $307.37 since the last check-in. So now I talk about where I'm at as far as each goal. So have I reached my 1 month goal? Yes. So I just placed a check there. Do I need anything to reach this goal? No. Have I reached my 3 months goal? No, I have not. How much do I need to actually reach the 3 months goal? Let's first start with the total needed for 3 months minus what I actually have in this particular fund, and the sugar is getting the best of me. Okay, minus $3,704.56. Okay, so I would need $3,036.02 to reach this goal. Of course, since I haven't reached 3 months, I haven't reached 6 months. So what do I need to reach the 6 month goal? So I start with the total amount that's needed minus what I have there available. And that's what I'll need to reach this goal. Now this number here is a number that I reflected in my 2021 goals, and you'll see that series upcoming. And I was able to put a little bit more to my emergency fund. Therefore, I was able to, this number is less than what I expected, and we're still within the month. So there's still time for me to get something and be able to put towards it. But right now, this is where we stand as of now. Okay, so then we're going to go to our monthly debt update. Now, let's talk about a couple things. And first, let's talk about the beginning debt. So I list all the debt that I had to pay within this year or have been paying on within this year. With that being said, when I started tracking this was after I paid a couple debts off. So let's first start with the first one, the medical bill. This medical bill actually was a bill that was left over from the year before, and it was for my son. I wasn't responsible with paying this off. His father was, but his father didn't do that. So, and my name was attached to it, so I went ahead and paid that bill off. The next item was my taxes. Year after year, I owe my state. Because I was in bankruptcy, what was happening is it was like rolling over. So I had started paying off the first year, and then each year I filed and I had a balance, it was rolling over. So it's accumulating. I decided that I needed to go ahead and pay that off, because if I did not, in the end, when my bankruptcy is discharged, I will be responsible with not only this amount, but the penalty and the interest that comes along with that. So to avoid that, I went ahead and paid that off right away. The first debt item that I was working towards when I started this sheet was my loan. And this is a 401k loan I took out some years ago, and I had been paying it off with the terms of the least amount of money being taken out of my check with the longest time it would take to pay this off. When I decided to be serious about getting rid of debt, this was the first one that I wanted to tackle. So I work continuously to pay this off by picking up side income or side gigs to have side income, and that's how this was paid off. So this was actually paid off a couple months ago. So we're good with that. The next thing is a medical loan. In 2018, I accumulated some bills, medical bills, and I was not paying them. But there was an opportunity for me to take those bills and place them with a group that consolidated them, but didn't make them less, but just put them all on one loan, and I was paying them back monthly, and they were paying back to the servicers. So this happened in around April 2019. They have two terms. They have where you are interest free, and they give you an interest free amount. If you ever pay anything less than that interest free amount, then you go into an interest bearing loan, and the interest is based on the market. So when I first started to pay this loan with the interest, the market was sitting very high. I think it was pulling at probably 12 or so. Yeah, probably about 12 or so. Then what I was doing is I was never paying the minimum anyway. So I was always paying a little bit more than that, but I wasn't paying enough to actually put a dent in anything until this year, when I decided that I should go ahead and take advantage of the market, because the market was low because of the pandemic, that I felt that if I get this out the way, I won't have to worry about it going back up and skyrocketing. So that's what I worked on next. And I was successfully able to pay this off and meet my goal of paying off my 6 debt items before the end of the year. And I'll explain to you. So first, let's talk about what I actually paid. I paid $280.67. This starting balance is what was left after I paid after I put the large lump sum on this loan last month. When the bill was actually generated, this actually incurred some interest. So the interest was $4.19. So that's why I paid the $280.67. And so the amount that actually went to this debt in whole was $280.67 to pay off the starting balance plus the interest. And now this is zero. They did not throw me a big party or anything. They just took my money and said, good riddance. So I am happy to say this is paid off. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to pay off 6 debt items before the end of the year. Of the 6 items, 2 of them was the credit card. Well, credit cards, should I say, because it's 2 of them, okay? And what I was doing is, in my mind, because I had an unhealthy relationship with credit cards, I just was using them to try to build, and then I just was going to do away with them. I have been actively, is it going to come out or not? Come on. I'm going to have to drink a lot of water to get the sugar out of my system. Because I'm using them actively, I decided I am actually going to move them off my debt sheet because it's in my rotation. Like, the amounts that are on the cards are amounts and or purchases that fall under categories where I either A, have a sinking fund for it, so I've been building up for it, and I just put it on the card for points reason. 2, it's 0 interest. So I am not incurring any more debt than what I've already budgeted for, if that makes any sense. So I decided to move it from here because all it's doing is causing my numbers to look funky. And because each time I use them, I'm putting the total here. So I'm making this keep going up. And it doesn't make any sense because this is what debt I'm actually paying down. And after I pay them down and pay them off, they're no longer there. So I hope I explained that. I hope this is the last time I have to make this change. If there's any other suggestions that you recommend, if you feel like that's not right and I should be including them, please tell me below. But right now, this is how we're going to work it out. So let's move on to the next item, which is the next debt that I'm going to be working on. Is another 401k loan. This 401k loan is actually 3rd in line, but the amount is 2nd in as far as what I want to be paying off, because I list them from least to highest. So that's where I'm sitting at. The payments are actually payroll deducted. I made 2 payments because I was paid 2 times from my employer. So that was $36.08. The interest that was earned on this loan was $730. The amount that was actually applied to the loan was $28.78. So that left a balance of $1,437.74. If you're not familiar with 401k loans, you are lending yourself your money. So you're paying yourself back. This loan still operates as a normal loan. It incurs interest. Because it does that, the interest is not only applied to the payment, it goes back into your 401k. So the amount that you pay actually goes back into your 401k, but you're earning interest on it, so that's taken from the payment, which causes the amount that you pay to your debt to be less. So that's why it takes you longer to pay it off. This particular loan is 6%. It's not based on the market. It's standard. The next one I have is loan number 2, which is actually the second loan in line, but it's 3rd that in regards to paying off. And I made 2 payments that totaled $34.82. The interest that was earned was $7.52. The amount that was applied to the debt was $27.30. And the ending balance was $1,483.97. Now, let me tell you something about these 2 loans. So, when I took out these 2 loans, it was after my company decided that they were no longer going to be on the hook with the maintenance fees that goes along with my 401k holder, I don't know, well, what else to call them, basically Fidelity, to manage this, should I say. So that maintenance fee they take out every quarter. Before my company was paying it, so I didn't notice. I noticed it when I was paying off this loan. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Let me get on the horn. Let me talk to somebody. And then they were explaining it, and they were going through, and they said, hey, these loans were after this period, and your company said, we need to cut costs, and we're gonna stop paying these fees because these people taking out these loans away from their future. Okay, no problem. So now I am motivated to pay this off because I do not want to go another quarter or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6,000 of maintenance fees, which is a lot, and it is a lot. Okay, so the next debt I have is my car loan. It's $12,114.53. My monthly payment is $280.14. The amount that was applied to interest was $139.44. And the amount that was paid to debt was $140.70. So that leaves me with $11,973.83. Now, in regards to my car loan, because I made an extra payment, I am a month ahead. Because of that, now more of my payment, a little more at this time, but more of my payment is going to my principal versus my interest. Whereas in regular smuggler world, when you have a loan, more is paid to interest for at least a good year before your principal even started to go down. But because I made that extra payment, that allowed for me to move a little bit faster. So this loan came into play in March. So yeah, so what is that? March was the 3rd month. So it's like 9 months. So within 9 months, which is less than the year time, I was able to now apply most of my payment to my debt. And that's all because what I'm doing is I'm paying it every 28th day, which forces an extra payment down the line because it falls in line with one of my magic months. So additionally, this is a rate reduction loan, which means that for signing up for this or signing up for that, I can't remember the stipulations, but basically because I did this, my rate is being reduced by 0.5%, and it is capped at 14%. So when you get to 14%, that's it. Your loan, for the life of the loan, you will be paying 14% interest. So that's why I'm happy that I am where I'm at this point, because I know that I am in the race to actually reduce the year, end, or month that this life of the loan. And one is paying the bill. If you pay the bill every month, if you sign up for something, it's not auto pay because I don't have auto pay, but I know if you sign, it's something. It's nothing that simple. I think it's maybe put your telephone number. It's something simple, but I was able to take advantage of that. So let's see what we have with the ending balance. That's $1,437.74 plus $1,483.97 plus $11,973.83. So at least move it $14,894.97. $95.54 as the ending balance. Now, I want y'all to be happy, but I want to be truthful. This is not the end of my debt. My debt actually begins with student loans. Because I am in bankruptcy and I am not obligated, in some sense not allowed to make additional payments to student loans. Therefore, they're in the back burner. They are literally brewing at this point, y'all. So they not out the way. They sitting here, they waiting to jump in. They double dutching. They just waiting for their turn to jump into the rope. And that's why it's important that I decrease as much of this debt, because I know that it's going to flip. And I know I may get a comment like, yes, you can pay this and that. I have called and tried, and they want me to go through all these different hoops, whereas I would never physically see what I'm actually paying. I don't know if that makes sense, but because I lost access to viewing my loans other than the loan servicing system, national loan database system, my loan servicer has stripped me of my ability. So I signed in and said, nope, you can call in and talk to us, and we can read it off over the phone. You can talk to a rep, which it always gives me to a regular rep, and this regular rep, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. Let me get you to the right department, which is just the bankruptcy department, and I have to speak to a rep in there. And then that rep, when I did speak her, she's like, well, you have to send the money to us. So when you say send the money, yes. I can call in? No. You have to send the check to us, send the money order to us. No. There was so much going on with the post office. I wasn't even going to dive into that. And then she gave me some advice. She was explaining that in the past, when individuals in my circumstances open up the floodgates to pay a student loans during a bankruptcy, that allowed for the gates to be open, the floodgates of creditors who miss their opportunity to be included in the bankruptcy. And so she had one particular customer who she was explaining to me that literally was on her phone crying her eyes out because she opened that floodgate and they had to like stop and restart because these people had a fair case. If she had that money, the extra money to pay the student loans, then why can't we be included and she pay us? Like, why she can't pay us now? So I went and left it alone. I verified with my lawyer. His request was the same thing. Don't do it. And he said it was something in the law in my state that kind of kept me away from it anyway. He said it's like funky wording and we just don't want to go down there, because if we go down there, that's another fee for him. So he's all happy to get extra paid, and I'm going to be extending my case. So yes, so I left that alone, but I know that they will come knocking soon. So I am mentally preparing myself by building myself up in a way where I'm strengthened in how I'm spending my finances. So I am going to now calculate all this, and we're going to go from there. All right, so the ending balance is $14,895.54. That goes for both categories. So we have 15368.80. Hope I can see that. Maybe I'll put that there. Minus 14895.54. So that's $473.26. That has been paid towards debt. And that is actually this plus this, because that's what was paid for the debt. This was the interest. So I hope that makes sense. So let's see what I've paid off since I started to track this. And that's not gonna be right. So that's $20,369.68 minus $14,895.54. So that's $5,474.14. Now, I wrote a little note here, or icon, to let you know that this number is not 100% true, because this is only the number when I started tracking, and it's not including before. I just didn't want the headache of trying to go through everything and figure out where I started. So I know I started well over $20,000 this year. I know I paid off more than $5,400 this year. I'm okay with not knowing the actual numbers, because it's not more so the numbers that matter to me. It's about the decreasing of the accounts, you know? So with that being said, if you're new to my channel and you love to be part of my village, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To all my returning subscribers, I do thank you for your support. Hit that thumbs up. Let them know I'm here. Okay? And please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.